Do. What's up?
What's up?
How are you guys doing? Happy Wednesday.
I made the intro cut. Look at me. I'm here. Normally I'm not here.
You're here. So, how are your guys' days going? What's going on? What's up?
Screw Wednesday.
What?
You don't like Wednesday? Why?
It's hump day.
It's just been a crappy day.
Sheesh. What about you, Aaron? How's your Wednesday going?
Good. I hope we can make Desert's Day better. Thanks for tuning in earlier with me and Machinist. I know you caught some of that, so that was nice to see you there.
Hey, speaking. I'm watching it, right? I'm watching it, and I got it on a laptop, and I clicked on the video, but it's like reply, and it's like you're replying to Aaron Guyette, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is. I've never really replied to anybody. On a Twitter live stream. So I'm just replying, and Aaron's like reading my messages, and Machinist's like, well, I can't see it. I don't understand what's going on. And then I don't know what happened, but I switched over to something else, and I came back and clicked on it again, and all of a sudden the chat popped up. So like 5 minutes before the end, I was like, oh, this is where the chat is.
You figured it out. So now next time you can just chat directly. You can hit us up.
Right.
It was cool though. It was cool to see you in there. And we were talking about, what you guys are doing and what's going on. So, and I figured out the differentiation between Token Empire and JPEG Empire now. So I've always called it just Token Empire. Now I know. So
Token
sorry.
Empire is the platform. JPEG Empire is the company, brand, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which, on that same note, which I mean, doesn't really matter if this is a place to say this or not, but I was going to say this to you, Desert, before we got on here. Then I got sidetracked with all this exciting stuff. But we got to make a meeting sometime with Aaron and talk about some things that we're thinking about.
Yeah, let's do it.
So you pick the time, and then I'll make sure that it works. But yeah, I don't want to bring up too many things about your personal stuff, Aaron, but my wife just got her approval for for the US stuff. So
that's awesome.
Wait a few days to get that, but
so what's the plan?
So that's a good question. See, I'm one of those people that I really like to not have a plan, right? Because then you get narrowed into potentially like a rough situation or a bad idea. So not having a plan is the plan. No, but we're probably going to end up in Maryland, back in the U.S. for a little while.
Okay.
Hang out with my parents until we figure out what we're actually doing. And, because,
That's awesome.
Exciting.
I'm pumped for you. That's great. So, in Trump's America, look at you.
Yes.
That means you now have no reason not to be at Bitcoin conference in Vegas.
You're right. I now have no reason to not be there. And
when is that? When is it?
May. Memorial Day weekend, or the week after Memorial Day. So the 27th, 8th, 9th.
Thank you, AJ. Shout out, man. Harry Man back. Big love to you. And 7 Ps. I don't know what that means, but Third Patriot, I know it's awesome. Whatever it is, it's cool. It's a cool thing. And big love to you. So we'll be able to double date. I'll be able to go see Third Patriot and his family and wife, and take my family and wife up there and go see Third Patriot. He's pretty close to me over there. It was
awesome. Third Patriot. I mean, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn because Aaron already talked about it, but I think Aaron might have some news for us.
Which one? Which thing?
About
the bot.
Yeah, so it is going to go live today. So we're working on the deployment. I'll send out a big long update to you guys, and so I think you guys subscribe to the announcement channel. I've given you guys some alpha behind the scenes, but I told you the trading pairs we're going to open it up to. It has been live. We've been trading the top 10 market cap or tokens on Blowfin, but now we're adding support for all the other ones. So it's got individual trading portfolios, batching technology. We're upping the minimum trade. This is an important one to $25. So that is a new change for sure. So I'll like bold that one and call it out, but I'm going to say it as many times as I can and make an effort here to let you guys know, $25 minimum trade. So before it was $10, but the way it'll work now is instead of taking, we did one mass signal, right? And we picked tokens that had the market cap and volume, but now we track the order book history. So we had to build out an order book history tracker. I told you guys all this, I think, and even here. And now it'll take a percentage allocation based on your risk profile and how much money you have in your portfolio willing to trade, and then trade accordingly. So if you have a lot more money and that signal comes out, you get a bigger percentage of that signal, right? And if you don't have $25 to trade per your risk portfolio, it won't trade for that signal. We also implemented some anti-cannibalization tooling, so you can never trade from somebody else on the platform and profit off of them. So
I was just going to highlight that. We all need to, Third Patriot. We all need to.
I'm in the red too. I've been very open. So I had $100 on. I think I'm at 80. And with this update, I'm probably going to put on, I'll re-up it to 500. So I'm very transparent with how much I put onto it. I'm not hiding it. The other thing we have coming out per John's ask is an epoch counter. You'll be able to see that, not tonight, but it'll show how many times the bot has learned, because this update also includes the full sentiment analysis integration. We had a simple model, but now we have YouTube, Warpcast, and Twitter picking up sentiment, and that'll affect the way the neural network puts out signals. So we're not just analyzing chart data. So
yeah,
it's huge.
So the epoch counter, that was kind of like, I wanted something that could show like progress and like the AI bot learning, right? So like they say around like 2000 is about how many it takes for it to get to like where you want it, and then it learns really quickly from there. And so I wanted that counter so that people could be like, you know, if we're quiet for a while, they see this counter and they're like, oh, we see the number is going up, right? So like they know that things are happening even if we're not talking about it. So that's exciting.
What's the epoch length?
So as of now, I think we're getting close to 2000. I actually don't know off the top of my head. So you'll be able to see it.
Last time it was like 1,700, I think it was.
No. I mean, what's the length for the epoch? Is there a specific length?
There's no specific length. No, it's when it's the way that this neural network works is it indicates learning the mechanisms that it wants to implement, right? So like it takes like, ooh, this is a good improvement, and then it will run it through its algorithm and then take that into consideration and then use that through the next like epoch, right? So it qualifies a learning and then implements it into its system. It's really cool, man. I love that stuff. It like I could nerd out about it for probably way too long. So I'll trail off.
So here's actually a question. So yesterday we had this article, and I don't know if you were tuned in for this one, but the article was about China is doing these races now with like bipedal robots. So they have, I think, 12,000 people that are able to race in this race and robots. And there's like a ton of money that they're giving to the people that win. So it's like the top 3 people get a ton of money. And then so bipedal robots, some of the biggest companies are in that race. I think
it's a half marathon, I believe, right?
Yeah, half marathon.
So it's robots and people, both?
Yes.
Both. Yep.
And you can bet on it.
You probably can, but no, their thing is like if you win, I think they said it's a very big cash prize to the winner.
And it goes to the top 3 places, whether they be metal or human.
Yeah.
Are the robots fast? Like, do you guys know anything? Like, are they running fast?
No idea. I think that it's like the initiative that they put out to all these robotics companies in China.
Yeah.
And then so like this is where they're gonna unveil their like big stuff, right?
That's cool. I like that a lot. So I think that's great. I think it's a good way to move robotics forward with a cash incentive that isn't harmful, right? Like a race, like, ooh, it's what they did to, the chess bots, right? They have them play humans and the chess bots always win. So it's
well, but
that was the big one back in the day was like Watson. Yeah. Didn't he beat Billy Fisher or something like
everybody? At first he didn't. I'm pretty sure the first couple iterations, the human won, and then somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but then he ended up beating everybody. He's unbeatable. So
think that I remember seeing that something about it was that like at first he kept being beaten by people because they could make irrational moves, and then he learned to make irrational moves to beat people.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But I was saying also yesterday that I think like that show BattleBots, right?
Yeah, they brought it back, right?
I think that there should be that on a global national stage where we have like Gundam warriors fighting each other, or like, you know, just mechs. Like I think that that would be cool from like a nation state standpoint. Like have these robots beat each other.
So I saw something yesterday, and it was a bar, I don't know where, but you could go and you could control RC construction cars. So you would go and there's a big sand pit in the middle, and you sit around the bar and you can like dig like as if you're a child again. And they have all these, like they have a dump truck, they have a crane, and it's wicked popular, at least according to Instagram. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I can imagine like gamifying that and having like BattleBots be the bar that you go to, and you like pick your bot and you bet on it. And so, yeah, I think those are great ideas. And I think it kind of brings tech that's physical, and there's a cool way to monetize it even digitally. So like with that racing thing we talked about betting, it would be really cool to bet. And then you could even do prop bets on the robots or the humans beating like a majority. So then polymarket people would get into it. So I love that stuff. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. But I got a whole bunch of articles and things we'll be talking about. We'll go into market update now. So everybody, let's reset the room. It is Wednesday, and I do want to give a special shout out. So for you guys who I know you don't know this, right? I know it's impossible for you guys to know this, but in Richmond, Kentucky, on Wednesdays at the Whiskey Barrel and at there's another place, I can't remember what it's called now because it's changed names. Every time that they got shut down for letting in minors, they had to change their name and open back up 3 weeks later. So, but the Whiskey Barrel, on Wednesdays, they sell pitchers of whiskey and Coke. Usually Jack and Coke for $5. Pitchers. And I went on my 21st birthday and I said, what do I get? They were like, oh, it's your first time here? I was like, well, let me get a pitcher and some cups. And then they just gave me a pitcher and put some straws in it. So,
that's awesome.
Stay in Richmond, Kentucky. Go to the Whiskey Barrel, $5 pitchers of whiskey and Coke. But
that's awesome.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Crypto Nightly, and today we have Aaron on. We're going to have a blast. We go live every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST. And come on, Desert, I'm forgetting something. Give us a like, subscribe.
I'm sorry, I'm watching the market dump right now. My bad. Everybody, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and that notification bell if you are on YouTube. If you are on X, do us a favor, tag some DGens, repost the stream. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. PST, bringing you daily updates and a little bit of market watch.
There we go.
And the update is going to be that Bitcoin is dumping right now. So let's get to it.
Yep. 80K with haste.
Okay, what I was getting ready to say was I don't think we're going to 80K. That being said, I might be opening up a Bitcoin short here in a second.
Okay.
But
if we were going to 80K, you wouldn't tell us so they couldn't stop loss hunt you right on your short.
Well,
just wait.
They're not stop loss hunting me, trust me. That's not worth our time. Okay, so we got some fresh data. Let's get some more here. All right. Nice big dump today. Down 4.1%, coming in at $3.681 trillion. Real low volume, so the bears are in control, coming in at 165 billion. Bitcoin dominance dumps a couple of points to 55.2, Ethereum to 10.5, and it's only going to cost you 5 GWei to send to ETH transaction. So we got Bitcoin coming in at 102,290, down 3.5%. We got Ethereum at 3210, down 3.7%. XRP at 313, down 1.7%. Solana at 249, down 0.8%. BNB at 688, down 0.5. Dogecoin at 35.35, down 4.6. Cardano at 96 cents, well below a dollar, coming in at now down 4%. Let's look where SWI is. SWI's fell back to 16, coming in at 433, down 5.6%. And I looked at this earlier. Biggest gainers, there weren't many of them. And WorldCoin was the biggest. So,
though that comes with the we already know the $500 billion investment in AI includes OpenAI and a couple other companies.
It's SoftBank, Oracle, and OpenAI is what Trump is proposing for the $500 billion AI infrastructure plan. Funny thing today, Elon Musk retweeted one of Sam Altman's tweets from 2021 because you know that Elon can't stand Sam Altman. He was he was a prior investor, a seed investor, whatever in OpenAI. But anyways, long story short, he retweeted one of Sam Altman's tweets, who in his tweet was praising some guy named Reed something or other, who like went against Trump, and he's like, oh, good thing. Maybe if this guy hadn't went against him, we'd still have Trump as president. And then yesterday, he's in the Oval Office or wherever the hell they did the presentation at, standing next to Trump as Trump's giving him $500 billion, or at least a cut. Kind of, So I think Elon's a little sour about that.
Yeah.
Well, his big thing is that it was a nonprofit, and then now it's a private for-profit company that is now valued at much more when the first $100 million came out of his pocket.
And it was supposed to be like open source, and now it's closed source, and then now like Microsoft owns it, or who knows? You can't keep up. WorldCoin is up 8.4%. Pengu is up 6.3%. Another point of fact, I was trying to get my Jupiter airdrop today, and it wasn't going through on my mobile phone. And so I went to my Phantom wallet, and it says, you're eligible for a Pengu airdrop. I was like, well, I already claimed one. So I clicked on it. But then when you go to the page, it says link your Sol wallet or your ETH wallet. I was like, huh. So I linked my MetaMask to it. Boom, got another $50 in Pengu.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I found out, from what I can tell on the Jupiter airdrop, it's like I'm available for it and I'm going to get X amount of coins, but they're not claimable yet, I guess. It's claimed on the website, but it's not in my wallet yet. I don't know. Friggin' weird. I couldn't figure it out. But Pengu is up 5.9%. XDC is up 4.2%. Gate is up 2.8%. Mantra's up 1.2%. And Tron's up 1%. And that is it for gainers today. Not looking good. Biggest losers, we got Athena down 11.1%. We got Jupiter down 11%. We got Trump down another 10%. Fartcoin down 9%. ICP down 8%. Graph down 8%. Aave down 7%. VeChain down 7%. And it just keeps going. It is a sea of red today.
Yep.
And that mimics the charts. So we go over here on the 1 hour. I was looking at the 1 hour earlier on SWI, ADA, and Bitcoin, and we just lost the 200 on the 1 hour for Bitcoin, and we lost the 786 accumulation right there. So I am seeing downside for Bitcoin. If we go to the 4 hour, I came across one of Crypto's posts earlier today. And I believe it was Algo yesterday that I was talking about how it was in a diamond pattern. And it was coming in from the top. And Crypto on the 4 hour is showing this diamond pattern. And he's expecting, and it broke since he posted it. So his support level was 103, and we've very clearly broken the 103. And to the upside would have been 105. So I think we're going down. We're losing the 50 on the 4 hour. I don't think we're going to 80,000. 80,000 isn't even like in a range for it to go to, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Now we could go to 76,000. We could go to 97,000. But when you bring up the daily and you start looking at volume and liquidity, so we have massive support down here at about 92,000. As you can see, we bottomed several times all the way since November. So we broke through in November, came back down, double support right here, or support, relaunch, come up. And then the past couple months, we've bounced off it here in December. We bounced off it a couple times in January. So 92.47 is a very big level of support. Now, if we do lose this, if we do lose 92.7, then yes, we're coming down, but I don't see anything at 80. If we come down here to 76, we got a little high volume node. I mean, we could come all the way down here. I just don't think that we're in that time zone of the cycle. You know, end of January, going into February, that push into the end of Q1, you know, all these institutions are filing in. Larry Fink's calling for a $700,000 Bitcoin, which is insane. $800 million in inflows to ETFs today, I believe. So I just don't think, I think there's too much hype, too much volume. Trump's expected to come out with some crypto executive orders. It just, the fundamentals, and to me, the charts don't show it. You know, I don't prescribe to some of the other things that people say, but everybody, I mean, it could, you know, I just telling you what the charts show me.
Big love to
down here to Sui. What's that?
Big love to J Coco.
Yes, most definitely. Yes, PopCat is up. PopCat was one of my favorite coins to trade about 3 months ago. It had huge volatility. It was up, it was down, it had a beautiful range, but it is definitely up today. It was, I think it was up like 18% or something like that earlier. Looking at SWI, for whatever, SWI is just bleeding off. And we had, even on Bitcoin yesterday and on SWI on the 15 minutes, we were looking at a cup and handle. Well, the bottom fell out of that handle and it's just dumping. We are losing the 786 on SWI. Luckily, we have some pretty good support down here at 422. If we go out to the daily and look at that, right here at 422, we have all this action right here. Boom, boom, boom. Nice high volume node right here. You know, a lot of action right here. So our saving grace is going to be 422 in my opinion, because we've already lost 440. So in my opinion, we're going to at least come down and wick off 422. Every time we seem to lose that, we come down. You see, we lose, we blow through it, we come back up, we lose it, boom, we wick down, we go back up, we lose it, and then we lose 422 and we fight to get back above it, and then we get back up. So 422 is my target. If you feel like shorting SWI, I don't like shorting in a bull market. It doesn't feel like a bull market, but 4-year cycle, we are still in a bull market. And we haven't lost any major moving averages. I believe we are still above the 4 hour on Bitcoin. Yeah. So we're still well above the 4 hour on Bitcoin. And you guys know that that's kind of my bearish bullish line right there, the 4 hour, even the 8 hour. Yeah. So even the 8 hour is still firmly above it, but losing the 1 hour, I would feel safe opening a short right here, stop loss above the 200, first take profit at 101, and then maybe another one at 100 right here at this at the bottom of this right here. So at about 99.7. And you guys remember, we were just there a few days ago. Hell, we were just there like 4 days ago. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit of dip, a little bit of correction, a little bit of uncertainty. You know, you got Daddy Trump in the office, shaking up the markets. People are getting crazy. You know, they don't know what's going on. Just a little bit of uncertainty. Bitcoin is a scam. Don't buy it. Sell all. What's going on? I'm assuming that's Johnny right there. What's going on, Johnny?
Oh, there we go.
Everin, what's up? Rare Evo. What's going on?
Yeah, we got to get him in February.
Yeah.
For my birthday, right? For my birthday. We'll see if we'll see what we'll be talking about in class.
I don't think he's gonna sing you happy birthday, bro.
You don't think he's? I don't know, man. Devin,
No.
I think he's probably got a really good singing voice.
So when we come to look at ADA's in the same boat. You know, we pulled a fib on the 1 hour. We looked like we were about to bounce off the 786, but we have lost it well below the 200 on the 1 hour. 4 hour, ooh, that's not good. So it looks like we are losing the 200 on the 4 hour for Cardano. It would not surprise me if we dump down here to this next SR level at 90 cents. Don't freak out. Buy the dip. And that's about all I got for tonight. We got other stuff that we need to get into. So markets are choppy. But as the title says, this is your last chance for generational wealth, in my opinion. If Trump really does come out with some crazy crypto executive orders, you know, there's all kinds of stuff being floated. No taxes for American companies, strategic Bitcoin reserve, this, that, the other.
Wait.
If he just signs like 1 or 2 positive crypto executive orders, the populace is going to go crazy. And don't forget, go ahead.
I was going to say, we had that article yesterday. I mean, Devin, I'm definitely down to do a special Saturday.
Yeah.
You just let us know.
Sure, we can do that.
But what I was going to say is that, I mean, the craziest thing was the article we read yesterday about new ETFs. And Aaron, I want to know what you think about this one. So the new ETFs that are already going to be filed at the beginning of February are XRP, Doge, and Trump Coin.
So did those get signed? Are those federal? Like,
No.
Okay.
They will get signed at the beginning of February.
Bitwise did just file for a Doge ETF in Delaware today. I seen that article earlier.
Yeah, I mean, there's 11 states for the Bitcoin reserve. There's talking about doing a Federal Reserve, and people are speculating. I talked about this earlier, but ADA, XRP, and Hedera are all being speculated as being part of that Federal Reserve. So, yes, I think we'll see ETFs under the Trump administration for nearly any coin with a market cap above 100 mil.
Right.
So I think they'll just send it. Why not? Is like he's making money. The more Bitcoin goes up, now that he has a meme coin that expires in 3 years. Expires. It's fully vested in 3 years, which is he's still president. He wants it to be up as much as it can be up during his presidency. So he's going to sign everything. So.
Oh no, I seen that press conference where he was just like super nonchalant about it. Oh, really? Oh, I don't even know what's going on. No. Oh, how much is it up? How much did I make? Oh, you made several $1 billion, Mr. President. Oh, he looks back. It's chump change to those guys.
Yeah.
So funny.
For what it's worth, I think everything that he's going to do crypto-wise should at least spike the market. I don't know in the right way, right? Like, do we really want people coming in and throwing money at a Doge ETF? Or do I want people using blockchain technology to buy real estate in a new, quick, and efficient way that's verifiable on chain in a trustless manner, right? I'm obviously deferring to the latter, but as long as Sam said this, Sam from Impasse, we were talking about it, and he's like, I don't think crypto is taking a step forward. I think it's taking a step up. So more people will know about it, but probably in the wrong light.
I don't think those ideals are mutually exclusive, though.
They aren't. I agree.
You know, so you can. It's. I mean, we've.
That's what everyone's saying.
Well, I would say we've always,
exactly.
but most people most people in crypto have said that, you know, memes bring in the retail, and then the ones that don't get wrecked stay in, they learn about Bitcoin. And I mean, you know, it's the same thing with Robinhood or Acorn. They go in, they get wrecked on a stock. You know what I mean?
I know, but according to the stats, everybody's getting wrecked, right? And retail is going to get wrecked.
Well, that's true. That's
true. I agree. I agree with both. I think it was Devin who said something, and I agree with you, Desert, that I don't think they're exclusive, and I think getting more eyes on crypto is good. We just don't want the media to spin it. So the funny thing, obviously, and I don't want to get into this too much because it's relatively political, but an example of the media is the Hitler salute from Elon Musk. Somebody took, I saw it, and then they showed like 5 other politicians doing the same exact thing. So
we talked about this last night.
Yeah,
that's their MO. They take a 5-second clip or a picture. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and they're the ones writing the words. So, you know.
I saw a meme today about it had Superman flying, and it was like Superman is, you know, hailing Hitler too. You know, it's just like it was just. I thought that was great.
Amazon.
Possibly, but
that's usually what it is at my house, at least when they go off.
Yeah, I think it is. So they're usually pretty good. I haven't had too many instances.
But I 100% agree with this, Devin. I know that we are early is used all the time, but like it's true. Yeah. We're going to see digital stocks, digital gold, CBDCs, tokenization, the world, and you name it over the next 10 years. And I think that's 100% true because it doesn't make sense. You know, if I want to purchase something or do any kind of business activity, since we've had the internet for this amount of time, I shouldn't have to like leave my cell phone to like go do it, whatever it's like. Right. I need an insurance policy. If I want to buy something, trade something, send somebody something, I should be able to do everything over the internet. And I think the digitization is inevitable, and we're 100% going to get there.
Yeah, we're in that. We haven't got to that slowly, but then fast. We're in that slowly part. What is it? So on the S curve, the S curve of adoption, what's the percentage? Was it like 15% or something like that? Or
you're talking about the bell curve, like early adopters and
right. But there's a formula.
It's 2.5, then it's 13.5, then 34, 16. So we're in the early majority, I think, as of now.
Right.
So I think we're past early adopters. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Early majorities, So what you were saying, innovators 2.5%, then the next is 13.5, then 34%, then 34%, then the last 16%, the laggards.
There's a theory of adoption. I can't remember what it's called. It's, you know, you got like Mavlov's theory of this, and it's something called. I'll think of it. I'll find it.
I just think about the Lindy effect, right? The longer that something is around, the more likely it is to be around forever. I'm pretty sure that was what it is.
Right. It's kind of something like that. Like once it's past 10 years, it's no longer a fad or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, LimeWire is still around. Does that break that effect? Because it's LimeWire. So, and yeah, look, you mentioned Napster. LimeWire is still around. Remember, they redid their token. They have a token. But LimeWire, I think, is still on the brink of failure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's because how do you need to go to them when you can go anywhere, kind of?
Yeah, and they did their relaunch was pretty well done, and they had a presence, I think, at Rare Evo, right? That was Rare Evo. I saw them.
I don't remember seeing them there.
I don't.
I remember hearing about it. They wanted to launch a token and get into decentralized, whatever, streaming or something like that.
Yeah, they did. They had a cool activation for their launch, so I don't mean to shit on them, but I don't think anything's forever. Even some of these, like the major companies, so they just become. I agree with you, more than a fad. But I don't think blockchain's already superseded the fad era. I think it's more. I want to see legitimate use cases become more prevalent rather than us sitting here and talking about Doge as an ETF. I want to say hey, did you see that? I don't know. JP Morgan put $400 million into real estate on chain this week. Like, that's awesome. That's what I want to see. Or healthcare, where we implement an on-chain authorized ledger for healthcare data, and then we tie it to wearables. That would be awesome. So, fingers crossed that this is a stepping stone to that.
Yeah, for sure. I remember getting AOL discs. Oh yeah, for sure. Some of us are definitely old enough to remember that, and they were everywhere. You couldn't walk into a store or open your mailbox without getting a damn AOL disc.
They did a good job too, because they also branched into chat. Like, they were like the first, I'd say, like internet company that was like, oh, what's another vertical we can get into? And they
I remember being in the chat rooms, the AOL chat rooms and stuff like that.
I remember IRC. That's dating myself. If anybody remembers IRC.
I used to bootleg CDs, and yeah, we down. And you know what?
That's hella illegal. That's so illegal.
Well, a lot of time, at the time, a lot of my friends were selling dope, but you go into the MIRC and you bring it and you just download. And I had just a bunch of MP3s, and I just have a catalog, you know, $5 a CD, 4 for 15. And I made it bank. You know, it didn't matter. I had everything from freaking Pat Benatar to Tupac to Los Tigros to everything. It didn't matter, you know.
That's so funny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
CDC 2600 frock. There we go. See, yeah, right there. Whoops, not that one. Trump is changing the United States digital services to United States Doge services. I didn't know that. They do have a Doge website though, and it's got the little Doge icon and everything on it. More data to health insurance and other data harvesters until they can get handling our data correctly.
So that's what I mean. So it'd be an authorized layer, so only healthcare organizations could access it, right? Because right now it's really easy for anybody to get your health data, especially health insurance. But if we prevent them from accessing a blockchain layer with data access, that would be the ideal, right? So it's a centralized, decentralized ledger. So there's an authorization layer. So it's a health chain. There's a couple medical journals out there that have already implemented this. I think one of them was called Health Chain, but you can take a look. It's worth the read. But this is going to happen. But I agree. Like, every company can get health data. It sucks.
I don't have a lot of confidence in that for the simple fact that I can't even email one of my referrals. It either has to be hand delivered, mailed, or faxed. In 2024, I get a referral from my doctor, and I call because I'm trying to get an MRI for this whole nerve thing. And I call them. They're like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to fax it to us." What? I haven't had a fax machine in 20 years. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. That's what I want to change. So it's the same thing with real estate, right? Like, why do we need all this paperwork when we can just verify on chain? So the exact same thing, we could remove the need for any of that if I connect, the chain authorizes me, I have my proven identity on chain, and then I can share the data, and it can even share who the referrer was, as long as they're part of that on-chain network, which is another gigantic hurdle.
I have a fantastic shill here in just a second, so I'm going to let you guys for just a moment. But did you all see the advertisement for Midnight?
No.
Dude, it's really good. It is really well done. I'm gonna see if I can get it up here real quick.
Exactly, Devin. Exactly.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of purchasing a house, and like, there's some.
Oh, bro,
it's nightmare.
Wait till you close. I've never signed more paperwork in my life than when I sat down with the title company, buying and selling. It's insane. My God.
The amount of paperwork we had to sign just to put the deposit down was absurd.
Oh, yeah.
Absurd.
And then when you get to the title company, it's like literally like a 3-inch stack of papers that they go through and they read, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, we had to drop off the check, but then they didn't actually cash it, and then they let me pay it digitally, and then they actually let me sign all the initial paperwork online. And I was like, wow, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
I know. I thought that was really weird. So I paid my deposit online and then signed the paperwork online. It was a ton of paperwork, but it was all online. I was like, wow, this is new. So
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's got to be that they're like a leader of the pack right there. So that must have been a 2020 pandemic type innovation, you know. It had to have been, because even when I refinanced my house in 21, the title company came to my house. I had to give them a check. Oh no, I'll take that back. I didn't have to give them a check. I could have did an ACH or whatever. But I did give them a check. And once again, 40,000 pieces of paper just to refinance. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I trade on MEXC. That is my preferred trading platform, Risk Gaming. That is, right. I spend 90% of my time on MEXC, as a matter of fact.
All right. Can we see this? Are we ready?
We're ready. Sir.
About blockchains. Think about it. Oh, wait.
Damn, hold on.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was a promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we build Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Okay. I mean, sure. Hey, I got a question. So when did we first start talking to Midnight? That was 9 months ago, maybe 7 months ago.
Yeah, I sent a message in private chat before I dive in, but yeah, it was 8 or 9 months ago.
Yeah, and let's see here. No, do not, sir.
Okay. No, you're good. Yeah, but go ahead, you guys first.
And they told us that they would be out in X amount of time.
Yeah,
and we had an internal discussion, and the times were different, and well, lo and behold, we're still not. It's still not out. They're still doing marketing. I mean,
I will say that I thought it was funny. Like the first time we had a conversation, they said a certain time, and then outside I spoke to some big projects on Cardano, and in back room conversations, and they were like, absolutely not. They were saying like 2 to 3x what we were told at the beginning. And now they're saying they're still talking about like Q1 or before the end of this year.
That would be cool.
That's a big difference, bro.
Yeah,
Q1 or before the end of this year.
Well, I mean, like still in 2025, that's big. But yeah, I agree with Devrin. He says it's IOG. Let's be real. Fast is not the normal with them. 100%. Exactly. But I did like the video. I thought that was a really good way of presenting it. I just think that people that don't care aren't going to care because of that.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to disagree now because I think that audience was misaligned. So production value, great. I think it hammered home whatever point they're trying to hammer home. But I don't think they have a target audience in mind, and I don't know what their differentiator is. So as an end user, they talk about a lot of blockchain differentials, right? And then they go back and saying, well, this is the stuff we've seen on mainstream media. So then they're appealing to the everyday user in Web 2. Who's their target audience? I have no idea from that source. I feel like they don't either. They don't have good brand positioning. I don't know what their differentiator is. I don't know why I'd use them. It's a puff piece. Like it's not even puff piece. It's like fluff. Like that was a fluff ad. Production value was good. Looks like they're present. It looks like they're moving forward, but I don't know what they're going to differentiate with from that. And internally, I know. We talked about how we were talking with them for months. I actually like the team. I like what they're building, but I don't think that was a good ad because I don't think it places them in a bucket where as a Web3 user, I'm like, well, okay, I've heard this a million times. And as a Web2 user, I'm like, I don't know what half those things meant.
Right.
Who's their
there's no, they needed to pinpoint their target.
Correct.
You know, we already know this,
And we know what the applications are. We understand like what it is that they're going for already.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. It seems
the little old lady running her credit card at Kohl's has no clue what this
mom
ad
test
represents. Huh?
So the mom test, one of my favorite books, short read, but if it can't pass the mom test, then your market is a jargon-induced market. It's a specific niche market if it can't pass the mom test. If I showed that to my mom, she'd be like, I don't know what this does, and I wouldn't use it. And that's okay if that's their target audience, but it seems like they're floating between the two. And this was a problem that I've had at numerous startups, including MinPass, where we've been dancing between the Web3 and non-Web3 audiences, right? It's very hard. You have to pick a lane, and then you have to commit to it. So it seems like they haven't picked that lane yet.
Yeah.
So not to bash them. I think the production was good, and I think they just need to change their messaging.
No, I think it's a cool ad for somebody like us.
No, but I like this from Devin. Yeah, I agree with that criticism. Guess I was just happy to see any marketing from Cardano. I like that. Said they hit a whole bunch of different topics that could concern many number of various people.
So I think that might be a counter to what I'm saying, but that's the problem. I think that there's a bajillion blockchains, right? We can sit here and we can list out all of them. If we're going to appeal to users, we need to say, what's our niche audience initially? And niche is an overused term these days, but if they need to be the best at capturing a certain aspect of their audience, and then they can grow from there. We just talked about that bell curve, right?
So I agree with this from Devin too. The Algorand ad, you remember that ad? Do you remember
the supermarket commercial was
I do remember that.
Perfect.
Well,
that
they should have got an Emmy for that.
Yeah, that was a good commercial.
Yeah.
That was different. You saw the use case, right? You instantly, that was a really good thing to bring up.
So I don't think they should go wide, and especially given the audience. We talked about Cardano. Let's speak honestly here. Cardano doesn't have the audience that like an Ethereum does or an Arbitrum or an Optimism. So let's focus on what we can be the best at in that ecosystem, right? And I don't think we got that from this. And that can be okay if they start to segue to that Web2 user and do something like Algorand did. So it's a brand position and marketing sentiment. I think they're actually going to have really strong tech. So I want it to get used.
Yeah, the ice cream truck one was good too. They played that on the big screen, right? I believe that was on the big screen at Rare Evo during the talk.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Was that midnight?
No, that's the algo. It was another algo one, I believe.
Pull that one up. Yeah. Okay, I remember this one.
Yeah.
100%. So, I guess here's a question: what? That's actually sort of also my criticism has been of Vet, right? Vet is at first they were just the supply chain management, right? Global supply chain management. Everybody knew exactly what they were. And then they started reaching into a whole bunch of things. And I feel like that brand identity got muddled there as well.
You're talking VeChain, right?
Yeah, VeChain.
Right.
Yeah. Yes and no. The problem is these chains have to show an insane amount of growth and support. And so they feel like they need to go wide. Yeah,
right.
I agree with that because they originally start out with some sort of focus, and then if they don't hit it quickly, they're under more pressure than most startups are because they have a system that is monetized right out the gate. Startups in the real world, like in non-Web3, are able to acquire users, then they add monetization, right? blockchain startups start with monetization and need to grasp users for so quickly that are willing to pay or use their infrastructure, gas, right? And then they have to continue to showcase that these users are coming back and continuing to use it. And they do it with things like TVL. And if you're doing supply chain, you're not going to get high TVL. You're going to get high usage, but it's going to take time. And so blockchain investors don't want to wait 10 years for them to build up and dominate the supply chain industry. They want to see other things. So the chains are pressured to go way too wide. And that's the model that I think needs to change. That's why I talk so much about like the real estate and healthcare, because it's such a, hey, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're going to be the best at. And so VeChain doing supply chain, I think that would have been great. But yeah, to your guys' point, I think I went wide. And I think the scattershot, he was talking about the ad, right? Yeah, it was a bit scattershot.
Yeah. With VeChain, I think it's exactly what, because they were a B2B. So they were logistics, supply chain tracking. They were the biggest one in Asia. I think they had like all the Walmarts in Asia or something like that. But then I think Walmart's, it's exactly what you said. The community starts going on, oh, but what about smart contracts? What about NFTs? And then NFTs blew up. So then all of a sudden you got like NFTs on VeChain. Yeah, and then so I think they should have went from. I would think the next step, if you're already a supply chain blockchain, like tracking and everything, why not go from that to RWAs? But it's not at the time that wasn't sexy, because it's still tracking. You're still tracking. You know what I mean? It's still I think it would be within the same highway, supply chain tracking and, title tracking, tracking, stuff like that. I don't know. But nobody's talking about RWAs back then.
RWAs. So there's a chain, Plume just launched their airdrop. They're an RWA-based chain. I don't know if I was able to claim it in the States. So if I were to claim it, I actually would have deferred and staked it. And the token went up after a good amount, which is interesting because airdrop, it can be either or. But these RWA-based chains, I don't know if they're going to, same thing. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive until they can get that adoption. But I think it's a great idea. Right. I agree with you. So I love RWAs.
Yeah. As long as they can keep the narrative pumping, and it'll maintain, because it's kind of a buzzword, but now like AI agents is the new buzzword.
Yeah, of course.
So, we are a TikTok attention economy, I should say.
We're goldfish.
Yeah, we're goldfish for sure.
Yeah. What I will say to pump Desert's bags, though. Okay, so there's a project on Cardano called Palm Economy and Palmyra, or Zengate Global. And I love what they're doing because pretty much they are like supply chain tracking and like compliance, supply chain tracking compliance as a service. And they also allow startups in the commodities industry to tokenize the things that they need to function and crowdsource based on their needs up to $1 million.
Right.
So it's like,
and public sale is live right now if you can KYC.
Yeah, public sale is live right now. But basically, like if you are a rice farmer in Asia and you need to scale up your business, you can fundraise up to $1 million there. And through their marketplace, they connect buyers and sellers of these products, and you can know that they're real. So like one of the explanations that was given to me is that Greek olive oil is one of the most frauded or faked products in the market. So people falsify Greek olive oil a lot, and it's one of the highest values. They say it's liquid gold. But so through their supply chain tracking, you can know that,
What a cool use case.
You can know what
it is. KYC, I'm just saying.
Because if you
want to KYC and you can't KYC, if you can't get on MEXC or if you can't get on KuCoin, we have a link in the description, a referral to the RNS.ID. It does work. It is legal.
It is the
I've had it for over a year, and you can KYC for almost anything.
Yep. But so anybody that is in the commodities market that wants to sell to the US or Europe is required to have that supply chain tracking to be compliant. So they give that to people as a service. Boom.
Cool. That's a cool idea. I like that. So there was when I went, I lived in Bar Harbor, Maine when I was doing the snowbird thing, and they had a specialty olive oil shop there. So I didn't realize like it was that hyped. I obviously wasn't buying olive oil. I love olive oil. The thing I'd like to see is like, so this is a very overplayed market, but I don't think it's been done correctly, and I don't know how a user does it correctly. But in that same realm, and you guys kind of know some of the IP tooling I built in the back end, like that isn't launched. But verifying any sort of collectible, and like what Tom Brady was doing with Autograph, is such an easy thing to do with blockchain, and I still don't think it's been done well. Like somebody gave me a bunch of Pokemon cards, I think I told you guys, and I went through them, and I have to determine if they're real or fake, because I just gave them to me. And like, I'm a beginner, I have no idea. Some of them are worth a lot, but they could be completely fake. It would be so cool if I just had a very easy to use decentralized verification, but again, too simple of a use case, so we're not going to do it.
Right.
Eggs are wicked high right now in the States, right? Eggs are wicked pricey.
I think we got some like $7 here in Arizona.
$7-8.
Yeah.
I think I bought a thing of eggs for $9 in Maryland. I was surprised at that. And so Third Patriot, John needs to stock up on peanut butter. So yeah, Aaron, what do you think about a 200K Bitcoin?
I think we'll see it this year. So
what I think it was Larry Fink projects a 700K Bitcoin this cycle.
People are buying Bitcoin as a marketing tactic and publicity stunt. If we're at that point where companies are doing it, then the real investors are going to do it based on volume and market. Like, it's going to happen. I think we're going to see 200K at a minimum by the end of the year.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I really do. It'll all depend on the Trump administration, I think, some of the decisions he makes. But if he announces the Federal Reserve and he puts even just a billion, into it, I think we're going to see a big climb that will actually stay, because we'll know that X amount is locked. Michael Saylor just bought another 1.1 billion.
Yeah, another 11,000.
Yeah, yep. Desert the other day, he was like, "Yeah, don't you have the Michael Saylor article?" I was like, "Dude, every single week he's buying $1 million worth of Bitcoin. Like, is that news anymore? Like, is it 1, 2? Like, it doesn't move the market
anymore." So my target has been, ran 125 to 150 was my target for Bitcoin. Random number 136, 589. Okay. If we really are going to 200,000, people are not bullish enough on altcoins.
I agree.
If Bitcoin really does hit 200,000, then I would have to reevaluate every price prediction I have in my head for my bags.
So here's my hot take. The altcoin market will separate itself from the Bitcoin market and long-term holds, and the cycle will start to shift. And because I think that we'll actually see altcoin crashes completely, and people stop buying into the hype, and they won't last as long. Like what we saw with NFTs. I think we're going to see that with altcoins very shortly. I just messaged. I have to drop. I have a hard stop again tonight, so I apologize.
Yep. No, that's good. It's 8 o'clock. The hour is up. I do agree with that. We had that. I think we talked about that. I believe in the 4-year cycle till it's broken.
Yep.
And then even if it breaks, I don't think the altcoin cycle will break. You
Correct.
know what I mean?
It'll
Bitcoin, because it'll be institutionalized at that point, and they're going to protect their bottom dollar. I agree with that.
Yep.
Totally. Yeah.
But all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. We are on live Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, every day, giving you market updates, giving you insights into everything crypto, and into what's going on in the economy, really, because we can't not talk about it also. But thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on the next one, and peace.
Smash that like.